Good morning. So we're looking at the professional development unit again today. And we're going to be looking at learning outcome 3, which is be able to prepare a professional development plan. So there are 2 assessment criteria here. 3.1, produce a professional development plan. And 3.2, review progress of a professional development plan. So nice and simple, all based around you creating your own plan and then reviewing how you're going with that plan. So let's make a start. So before we go on to 3.1, we're actually going to look at what a professional development plan is. So a professional development plan is a set of targets that are made for you, that you actually set for yourself to improve your own talents, your own knowledge, and they also help you to keep up to date with the pace of your work environment and any changes that might happen in your profession, so that you can reflect upon those and actually make sure that you're up to date with them. So a professional development plan is normally developed with your reporting manager, and it's normally part of your career planning and performance management. So if you've ever had any appraisals take place, then you'll be aware of how you identify areas of improvement and you get tasks to work on those. So we've got a development cycle here. Now, this is more of a personal development cycle, but the steps are the same on whether or not you do it professionally or personally. So the first part would be to establish the direction that you want to go towards. So what are you actually looking to do? Identify what your development needs are. Look at the different opportunities that you have. Formulate an action plan. Start the development, what you've identified, so start doing it. Record your outcomes. So how are you doing it? What are your achievements? Are you getting certificates? Are you getting feedback? Are you hitting any milestones? So record them down. Review and evaluate what you're doing. Is this activity that you've done, is this training beneficial to you? Is there something that could have been changed? Would you go towards a different course or a different direction? And then you're coming back full circle. So you've looked at what you've done, you've established what you wanted to do, you started doing it, you've reviewed it, and now you're seeing, is there some other area, is there something else that I can go and professionally and develop myself in that way? So personal development planning enables individuals to take charge of their own learning. And again, it's the same aspect of what you do for a professional basis as well. So learning becomes a proactive part of what you're doing. It's a reactive process. So you're actually actively going ahead and focusing on your learning needs. So you're designing your learning needs, you're prioritizing what you need to do, and you're getting support to development either personally or professionally. So a development plan also enables learners to identify key areas of learning and development so that you're able to find out what areas you need to go towards, what areas you might need to develop yourself to keep up to date or to learn new skills. And then you're able to acquire new training or any opportunities that you can to develop your skills that you already have and develop your behavior that you already have and work towards it. Now, these are done for the following purposes. So they're done to enhance your performance in your current role. They're done to address any anticipated changes in your current role. And they're there to address any career aspirations that you might have for a future role. So we'll go into 3.1, which is produce a professional development plan. Now on here, all you're going to be doing is actually physically producing a development plan. You're going to go ahead, you're going to sit down, you're going to identify what your needs are, what you want to learn, and start developing it. So for an action plan, for a development plan, you need to look at these questions. What do I want, or what do I need to learn, and why do I need to learn it? What will I do to achieve this? What resources or support will I need? What will be my success criteria, and how have I implemented my learning, and what impact has this had? So it could be at work, outside of work, in your personal life, in your professional life? What impact does this have? So what will be your success criteria as well? So are you going to have your success criteria as you getting a promotion or landing the job that you wanted or gaining a certificate or a diploma? What are you looking for? And then target dates. So what are your dates for reviewing the course of action, the training that you're doing or the development that you're doing? And what are your dates for completing this? So again, just in a bit more of an extended form, so these would just be filled in with what your objectives are here. So one objective could be to complete this course that you're on now. Another objective could be to, say, go on to a further course of study, something that will develop yourself career-wise. You might want to do, for example, get some qualifications in English, so level 2 or 3. So that would be another there. The same with maths. Is this a priority, yes or no? So what activities you need to take? So for this course itself, you need to attend lessons, you need to put down, submit your assignments and so on. What support and resources do I need? You need your tutor support, you need to be able to access the internet, you need a laptop, you need the software programs to actually physically hand in, write out your assignments. And then what are your target dates? So if you're handing in an assignment, so for example, you would say, right, I'm going to get this done within 2 weeks. And you put down a target date. And then you put down a date of actually achieving the outcome. So when did you actually finish it? So this was your target. Did you get it done quicker or did you get it done slower? And so on. It just follows the same concept. And then you have development objectives. So we're just going to go through each point here in detail. So we've got development objectives. So these are the objectives that you've identified, and they're there to enable you to meet your learning and development needs. So you've identified your skills, you've seen what you are capable of, what you need to develop a little bit further. So this would be, as we previously talked about, a SWOT analysis, where you're carrying out a strength, weakness, opportunities and threats analysis to see what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities you have, and what sort of threats might you have stopping you from achieving what you want to do. So these objectives will have been identified at that stage, and this will help you to create a development plan. Then priority, like we said, is it a priority or is it not? It helps you to identify what your development objective is. Is it a priority? Is it critical to your current role? Is it beneficial but not critical to your current role? So it's good for you, but it's not absolutely necessary. Is it critical to your progressing in a future role, or is it beneficial but not critical to progressing in a future role? So these are some points that you can put down. And then the activities part would be things like formal training, on-the-job training. You could do work shadowing. So you're shadowing another person, another colleague. You're observing someone, getting coaching and mentoring sessions, and so on. So there are different opportunities there, different activities. You could also be doing formal training, formal courses, informal learning, like go on the internet, doing some research, looking at YouTube videos. So there's a number of activities that you can have in here. So support and resources is when you just need to describe what you need to help you achieve your objectives. So do you need a laptop? Do you need physical tutor time? Do you need to be able to access written information? So what sort of things do you need to do? And then target and actual dates. So these actually state when you intend to achieve your development objectives, and then when you actually get them. The first is when you hope to achieve something by, and the second is when you actually have done it. And then your review date is, you're just putting a review date down, so you can actually review, check on your personal development plan, check on the progress you've made, and then also tweak it and adapt it to reflect how you're going. So overall, for a professional development plan, when you're creating one, prioritize your learning development, put down short and long-term goals, tell me what your objectives are, what your dates for achievement are, how will you achieve these objectives, what sort of support you need, and what is the evidence of the outcome. So if you're putting down what your evidence is, what is the evidence? Is it when you're getting feedback, or is it when you're getting certificates? Is it when you've got a new role, you've got a job offer? What sort of evidence do you need of those outcomes? So I'll go on and I'll show you a development plan template actually. So the first stage when you're creating a development plan would be to carry out a SWOT analysis. So remember, it's where we're doing what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your opportunities are, and what your threats are. It'll help you to reflect on how well you're doing and what areas you need to address, and also what sort of opportunities you might have and what sort of things that might stop you from doing certain things and how you can address that or try and tackle those issues. The second stage would be to set goals, to set targets, set down clear, defined goals which are measurable, which are achievable. Stage 3 would be to set down personal objectives. So put down your personal objectives, what they are, what you need. And then the last stage will be to get feedback from your supervisor, from your manager, somebody who's in charge of you. Or in this case, from myself, if you've not got anything with that. So the first part here, carry out a SWOT analysis, put down what your strengths are. So you could say, I'm a very good communicator, I'm very good at handling personal and professional conflict, I'm good at negotiating, I've got very good patient-centered care. Areas for development could be things like my time management isn't great, or I need to work on research and advancing my knowledge, or my math skills could be a lot better. Opportunities are, so any sort of opportunities that you might have, so any professional courses that you're doing, any education-based units that you're going towards, you might have training, or even talking to somebody at work, having the opportunity to speak to somebody who's a lot more experienced than you are or has been in the job a lot longer is always good. And then threats, you might have issues. It could be like your time management. You might be working full time. You might have children and a family who are needing your time as well. Then you might have financial issues as well. So you want to do particular courses or particular training, but it costs too much. So these are things that might stop you from being able to achieve those. Then you go down and you set yourself goals. So what do I want to do? What do I want to learn? What do I have to do to learn this? What support and resources will I need? How will I measure my success? And what's your target date for review? That's part 2. And then part 3, you're going to set personal objectives. So what are your short-term goals? So goals that you've set for the next 12 months. What are your medium-term goals? Ones that you're setting for the next 2 to 3 years. And then what's your longer-term goal? The one that you can set for beyond 3 years plus. And then you can, if you have a line manager, somebody who you can go to get some comments put in, that would be fantastic on this. If not, I can always review your development plan and put comments in myself. So that's it for a personal development plan. It's broken up into nice, simple steps for you to be able to identify what you want to do and then address how you're actually going to do it. So, 3.2. We're going to review progress of a professional development plan. Now, you've gone out, you've done your professional development plan, you've created short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. You've put down targets, you know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, you know what your opportunities are, you know what sort of threats you might face. So you've done all of that big process already. Now you're going to review your plan. So reviewing progress in the professional development plan is a part of your process that you need to do on a regular basis. So you have regular review stages. So to properly review your progress on your development plan is good to look at them periodically, to keep going back, looking at your development plan, seeing how you're going, seeing if you've completed something quicker than you did or if something is taking longer, and adapt your development plan in accordance to how things are going. So reviewing your professional development plan can be done as part of a formal meeting with your line manager, or it can be an informal discussion with them. So, but one thing that needs to be done when reviewing any progress on any development plan is to continually identify areas for improvement. So, you know that if there's an area that you can further improve, identify it, update it, so that you've got the most updated plan that you can. So a couple of things that you can do to review your progress is to self-evaluate your development needs. Get a template or an online tool to record the personal development plan. So something like the template I showed you, you could continue adapting it and tweaking it on there. Record any initial development needs in your personal development plan template or professional development plan template. Meet with the manager to discuss your initial thoughts. So how you're going, what you're doing, do you think this area is good? Do you think the training that you're on is beneficial to you? See what is good for you. Agree with them what development needs are best suited to you, and then also to you and within your company, so that you can work forward to achieve the goal that you're wanting to. And then also to add development activities such as training courses, etc. onto it. You can also add on any reading that you've done, any sort of research that you might have done, any short courses or long courses that you did, any observations or any conversations, discussions that you had with other colleagues. So everything can get added onto it, no matter how small it is. So set the first review date. So you've created a plan today. So maybe in 2 months, you would go back and say, it's June today, so in August, you would say, I want to go back on the 23rd of August, and I'd like to review my plan in 2 months' time, see how I've done. Update the plans with notes on your progress. So keep adding notes on of how you progress. Add that on in your own time so that you're up to date with it. Carry out a review with your line manager. Agree and set new targets and update your plan. And then also agree on a plan of action, how you're going to go. And then also set the next review date. So you set the first review date, but then you should set another review date for when you're going to do the second stage of this. And then go back through all the stages again to the beginning and make sure that you're doing, getting the best that you want out of your professional development plan, so that it reflects your actual needs and your development, and it reflects on where you want to go, what your steps are. If you want a promotion, is this helping you get that? Or if you want to change careers, is this going to help you do that as well? So you've got to see what's best suited to you. So overall, we've looked at how to produce a professional development plan. So we looked at carrying out a SWOT analysis, and then setting targets for yourself, and then setting short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. Then we looked at reviewing your own progress of your professional development plan. And then we've looked at setting a review date to start off with, so say in a couple of months' time, and then also setting a second review date where you would go over the whole steps again. Meeting with your line manager, putting notes down, adding any progress that you've done, and just seeing how, if your professional development plan actually still meets your needs, or if it's going towards the requirements of what you want to go for. So thank you for joining me today. Have a good day. See you later.